sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the there are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. We are here tonight after the result of Everton versus Luton. Everton 1, Luton 2. Match reaction. So this is some counselling that we all probably need. I think we've all got to come in this. It's not the celebratory one that I wanted, but we've got to get together and we've got to sort this out and see what we think, share our thoughts, get everything off our chest, and try and finish positive as we always do on the Bluecast. But yeah, it might not be a nice one, but get on, share your views, get it off your chest, be honest, and tell us how you feel. Me and Paul will tell you how we feel as well. If you can, if you're on Twitter now, the link's above on the Twitter. Hit the link, come over. I mean, we want to see your comments. We want interaction from you. So it'll just bring you straight over to YouTube. There's no catch on it. It just brings you over to YouTube. And we'll talk about the pre-match, the game and stuff, and we get to see your comments. We want as much interaction as we can. So let's get started. How are we doing, Paul? You all right?
Not bad. Do you know, it was one of them. It was at half time, like we were just having a chat then. We were trying to get people still pumped up for the second half. I still felt as though we could come back and win it, to be honest. I thought that goal would be the catalyst for the second half, but it just never turned out that way. So I've nothing against Luton at all. They had a game plan, picked out a few things really well. They did their job, but we didn't do ours. And yeah, maybe it's because I'm just getting less disappointed as we go along, because we're just lacking a bit of energy and a little bit of resilience after these bad home results. You know,
it's not nice. And I did say on the channel, I said, if we lose, we've got to try and stay as positive as we can. I didn't think we was going to lose, but I knew a draw is anything can happen in football matches. And we've seen Wolves beat Man City on the same day. We've seen a couple of results go the way that you don't think they're going to go. And I know it's probably not the same as Luton.
Yeah.
It's written in the stars that Luton are going to pick up their first win in the Premier League against Everton. It's just what we do. We seem to be a charity for breaking stats for teams, and it is. I didn't want to say it, but like when you've had King and he plays against you, and King scores a hat trick against you. When you play against Newcastle, when you're 2-0 up in extra time, and they go and score 2 goals in extra time. Remember that game? It just seems an Everton thing. I'm going to read the comments out here.
Even the Villa game when we lost 4-0, the lad who scored the 4th, I think, hadn't scored for Villa and just came on, and we gave him a goal for that one. But if you watch
and the Sheffield United game as well, there was a player that hadn't scored before. Yes, Sheffield United. We gave a young boy that couldn't score a chance to score. It's the Everton way. If you say you can guarantee, it is the Everton way. You can guarantee if the commentators, if we're playing a game and the commentators say, "Oh, there's this player called Joseph. He's not scored in 100 years," he'll score against us.
Yeah.
We'll help him out.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Oh my days! You just it's frustrating. I'm going to your comments. Get them on the screens. Let's see who's in the building. You've got all the regulars. Love it. Love to see you here. We need you here.
Emma's in.
We need boosting up as well. We need boosting up. We're always positive, but maybe we need you to boost us up. Evening all from Emma Davis, Steve Clements. How quick tides can turn though. You win 2 games, you're on top of the world. The biggest smile on my face. I said, please don't break this.
Yeah.
Boom. Steve Clements, Rob. We'll have you on again soon, Rob.
A week's a long time in football, you know.
Well, we did that. We did the hard part because it could have only been 3 days of celebration and us losing in the cup. But we did the hard part and we actually won the cup game.
Yeah.
But it only lasted a week, didn't it?
I know. I tell you what, if you go to the pre-match that we did and just clip I think in the first 10 minutes what we were talking about. We were talking about the unicorn, which you did.
I got the unicorn now. Even the unicorn can't.
You did everything. You did everything you could, but I did say
I took the unicorn across. If you look at the back of my yard, the unicorn's been chopped upside down. In the back of the yard, left out in the rain, so the unicorn's gone. That is gone. It's rained on it and it's gone. And it's probably. I'm sorry, but it just didn't work.
Have you stabbed it with the pole that you used
it,
for
mate.
washing
I Duncan Ferguson did, mate. I just headbutted it. I nodded it in the head the moment we didn't bring that game back, and I believe we was going to bring it back. There's loads of comments that was a killer from the Blues.
I said, didn't I, that we hadn't won 2 league games in a row for a year. Actually, yeah, Luton obviously were the only team in the Premier League before our game not to have taken the lead. And at least we scored, because we would have ended up, if we hadn't scored yesterday, we would have.
Yeah, you're thinking that stat when you said it.
The first team in history to lose all first 4 home games and not score a goal in history in the top flight. That's just ridiculous. So thankfully we didn't get that bit. Silver linings. You've got to look really hard, but there's some silver linings in there. Really,
well, let's try and give you some. Really, the Rob, what I just said a minute ago. All my mates are United fans. I remember when Cavani signed for them, hadn't scored, and I said he will 100%. Of course he does. Yeah. We help teams. People don't give us the credit due. Now you've got to remember, Luton have never beat a Premier League team. So when that stat gets shown, we get advertised. Everton gets advertised, so we'll probably get a bit of money for that. So we're probably doing it deliberately because we're struggling financially. Our name gets publicised a bit more around. So every time they bring Luton's first win up, our name is put in the hat. So I think we get about, I think it's 1.5 million for picking up that stat.
Really?
These are the silver linings that you're talking about.
Well, that money's got to go somewhere. The money's got to go somewhere. Should we?
We've got to boost each other back up. Come on, then, Paul. Let's do this. Let's
dissect this. I've got a few stills and stuff from the game. It's not all bad, It's Sunday. We're all in work tomorrow, or some of us are anyway.
Is it just another manic Sunday? Wish it was Monday.
Wish it was Saturday now, because we want to straight away come back and put it right, don't we?
Well, I just said, we've got to put it right, because I can't take how negative it is on Twitter. Like, I can't actually talk that much at the minute, Paul, because I try and be positive, and you just can't be positive at the minute. Fume. Go on,
lots of angry people out there, isn't there? Lots of angry people. First of all, what did you think of the lineup when it came out?
I've done a few tweets about this, which you've probably seen it. It was similar to the lineup that I said. You've got 2 things that you could do. You could play the lineup that beat Brentford, or you could play the one that worked in the cup. I think the one that in the cup was always something that he tried, and the Brentford was one that was more Premier League lineup. And we got the Brentford one Premier League lineup. Now this has kicked loads of Everton fans off. They're absolutely fuming, and they wanted the wing backs and they wanted Harrison to start, and they didn't want Garnagay in the squad, and it fumed everyone before the game. Fans were so angry before that game, I tell you. It was like,
Yeah.
it just wasn't good vibes before the game for me, from what I was seeing.
I was disappointed. I wasn't inspired. You know, I was a bit disappointed that because, well, you know what I feel like about the three at the back anyway. I think that is the way to go, to be honest. I just think it'll help us going forward far more, and it'll just create more clear-cut chances. But it didn't go with it. So, you know, have faith and everything, and you go with the game. And the first few minutes, I know Luton was sort of having a high press with their three lads up front, but we seemed energetic. You know, we were creating some chances. This one's McNeil very early on. We've got the ball on the right-hand side. That Luton are all over the place at this point. The ball's come across, I think it was Decore has put it across to the left-hand side. McNeil's nicked it off the toe of the right back for them. And then he watches it, and we thought this could have been an absolute dream start, but it just goes past the post. Cracking effort, though. And you feel positive. You feel as though we've got lots of energy. We're going to do well here. We're going to do well here. You know, even in this sort of position here, I mean, Mikalenko's furthest forward on that left-hand side, and he's doing a back heel into Onana. You know, there's good triangles there. We've got lads who are creating chances. Look at all that space in that Luton area just in front of Onana. And then gets onto it, curls it. Unfortunately, just goes past the post. But we're creating chances, and you're thinking it's going to be positive. It's going to be positive. But defensively, we let ourselves down again. And it's just reactionary. It's silly stuff. How did you feel at this point when we'd sort of had a couple of shots early doors?
Well, I knew people were fuming with the team, and the way I am, I'm like that Rocky sort of thing. I side up for what's wrong, and because everyone was against the team, I wanted the team to do well. That's just the way I am, and we started well, fast passing, bang, bang, bang. Onana pass, boom, 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 pinging it around to Corey, really passing it fast, and I'm thinking, yes, this is good. You know, we're passing it fast, and I'm thinking, yes, we're good. And then all of a sudden, McNeil, I thought that was in. I jumped up and shouted, and my partner goes, "Oh, have you scored?" And I goes, "No," but that McNeil shot looked like it was going to be hit the net. It just looked like it was in, and he probably should score it in my eyes. With McNeil's quality, you can guarantee when he played for Burnley, look at the one he scored against us. When he played for Burnley, if that was against us, he would have put it in the back of the net. We have to be more clinical, Paul. Like, we really do. Yeah. These are none of chance. I know you say, "Oh, we're doing." At the time, you think to yourself, "Oh, yes, we're creating. We're good. Keep doing it." But then when you think back, you think you've got to score these chances. It's good you create them. But as a professional footballer, you've got to be hitting the back of the net. You've got to make teams pay, because like against a lot of teams this season, they get one chance, it ends up in the back of the net. So we've got to be as brutal as other teams are against us. And that sloppy defending that they've done there with the bounce that McNeil got, not on that picture, the other one, sorry, with the bounce that McNeil got, I feel, here it is. I feel McNeil with that in that position has got to score. He's got to score. And I know he's hit it in an unlucky way. Maybe take it a bit further and put it in the back of the net. He's got to score.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
And then the next one, Onana. Maybe Onana should have put the Predators on, because I feel when you wear the Predators, you get a lot more curl on the ball. And it had no curl, did it?
20% more curl, I think.
Yeah. Is it? No, honestly, when I played with Predators, when you get that extra bend, that David Beckham bend, and I feel different football boots, it had no whip on it. Different football boots would have put that Onana shot in the back of the net. It just had no curl. He struck it perfectly, hit it just outside of the goal. And normally they curl in that Onana shot. Normally they're bending. They've got some bend, because that's how he wanted to do it. Is use the player as a shield and bend it in. But it had no bend. Onana should score from that there as well for me. And like I say, and I've said this before, people don't like to be positive. They'll just look at the result and they'll keep saying we got beat by Luton, which I am fuming about. But at the end of the day, we talk about the way Sean Dyche set them up. The way they come out in the first 25 minutes, I had no problems with it, Paul. I really didn't, because I thought we couldn't pass the ball much better than what we was doing, was passing it fast. I thought was getting in some cracking positions, like on the pictures you've just put up, the Onana position. There was more chances in this as well, but we just wasn't finding that clinical edge to get Calvert-Lewin in. There was another moment where Onana played to Calvert-Lewin, but Calvert-Lewin wasn't running onto it and on the same wavelength. We was all around their box and we was all over them. And you think to yourself that we are the better team, but then you do think to yourself, if you don't take these chances, it bites you in the arse.
Well, it does. I mean,
does.
the first half, just in the first half, we had 13 attempts on goal. 5 of them were on target against Luton's 2. Luton had 7 attempts on target. Obviously, scored their 2 goals. 70% possession for us in that first half. You know, XG fans was 2.74. Do you know what I mean? Luton 0.76. Going off those stats and looking at these chances that we've created, you know, you're positive to a point, like you said, but when you get to your 4th, 5th, 6th chance, you're thinking, oh God, it's just, we're not going to score again. We're not going to score again. And then you get on people's backs because you think, oh, well, there's Garnagay, he's going to shoot again over the bar, out wide, whoever it is, to be fair. And you just start getting frustrated. And then people try too hard and they don't have the composure to get the finish that they need. And it was one of those yesterday. It really was.
We're complete dominance at this point at the start of the game. And
yeah,
they've done nothing. They've done nothing. And after these probably 5, 6 chances where we should have scored 2 or 3, eventually they get up the pitch, and I think it's a Lockyer header where he just shows that they can be and puts a bit of confidence in them.
I'll show you now. Luton had 5 corners. Luton had
there you go.
Luton had 5 corners in the first half, and obviously a few set pieces as well. But they get joy off this one. I just wanted to show this first straight away. If you're looking at everyone who's in there, you just think for someone to get onto it and have a clear header to cause Pickford problems is highly unlikely because of the massive bodies. And we're all pretty much at the near post there, aren't we? You know, you got Branthwaite battling with 1 or 2 of the lads in the middle. Is it Mikolenko's in there as well? I'm not quite sure. Obviously, you got Dominic there. You've got Tarks on the 6-yard line. So you wouldn't think Luton would get a clear header there, but they bloody do.
You know what? I've been looking forward to speaking to you about this on the channel because I feel there's some stuff that we've got to address, and we've got the Blues in the house, and we've got loads of other cracking football-educated people here. And I've had a few people that have debated to me and said the way Darcy's setting them up on these set pieces is wrong and it's not working. And it's not the players that are failing on it, which I've just seen the Blues say about Miko on one of the set pieces that we'll touch on earlier on. He's saying that they're just set up wrong. And get that picture back up, Paul, that you just had on. Let's just sort this out because
that's there.
Yeah. Why is Lockyer free? And someone said this to me. He was free on the first edit. Why is Tarkowski not on it? Why is Branthwaite like I said, Lockyer is shit, whatever his name is, the one that centre back. He's slow, he is crap, but he is good at set pieces. I knew that in my head. But why they're not man to man on him? He is the one person that's their best player at heading the ball. Can we? They're marking in sections. If the ball goes here, you head it out. If the ball goes there, you head it out. They're not marking man to man, and I just feel if you're not marking man to man, you've got to be picking up for me on set pieces. You've got to. This is the basic stuff. You've got to look at Morris. I said Morris is good. I wanted him at Everton when I watched him in the Championship. I know Morris is good in the air. He's strong. Branthwaite struggled with him. So you've got to pick up Morris. You've got to pick up Lockyer. And then you probably look at the next biggest player. Those 3 players have got to be tight marked. You grab them, you pull them, you do whatever you can to put them off the header. But look, Paul. What do you think on this? This isn't good marking. This tactic isn't good, is it? I don't think it's good.
I think what they seem to have there is that they have zonal. They have half zonal, if you like. You know, you can tell Garnagay's position is meant to be there as your front man in front of.
He's not. Paul, address this though. Is that the Blues has just said? Sorry, this is just quick and carry on what you're saying. The Blues has just said Branthwaite's holding Lockyer. I thought Lockyer was number 17 there.
Branthwaite's not holding. Oh no, it is there.
I thought Lockyer's number 17.
Oh no. Number 17's I can't say his name. I can't say his name to be fair, but that's not him. Lockyer is actually leaning into Branthwaite, and Branthwaite's got his arm around him. Then you got
so
Morris.
Branthwaite's let Lockyer. Well, my mistake. Then the Blues, you're right. So Branthwaite is tight to him, and he still wins the header.
Well, the header actually is won by Morris. So Lockyer is. It's not 17 there, is he?
Whatever it is, whether I'm right or wrong, Blues, it's not working.
Whatever it is, yeah. So it's Morris who wins the header, number 9 there. He's just he's a yard or two in front of Tarkovsky.
That's 17.
Who's not right? Who's not tight enough to him. So Morris gets the header. It then comes off the post. You can see what you're talking about, where people are, what positions people are in. We're zonal, aren't we? But the likes of Branthwaite, Mikolenko's in there, and they're man-to-man. Decore's tight there with 16. So we're sort of half zonal and half not. You know, some people are picking up. But as I said, it was unlikely that someone was going to get a strong header and cause Pickford problems. But that's exactly what happened. We didn't switch on enough at that point. You know, it's a decent corner. They were decent at corners and free kicks, Luton. You know, the thing is obviously, go on.
How can we on a channel 2 fingers ago say we've got the biggest team in the Premier League?
Yeah, we have.
They've got the biggest, tallest team in the Premier League. How can we be this bad at defending set pieces when we've got the biggest, tallest team in the Premier League? Is it? People say, "Oh, you've always sided up for Sean Dyche." No, I don't. I just try and go with what I say, and I admit when I'm wrong if I'm wrong. Never right. I can just go through the motions of how I feel. And is Sean Dyche setting them up wrong here? Like, is it Sean Dyche? Is it the players? Are the players not using the common sense? I just don't see how they can be that much of a threat set pieces. They have got a few biggies, but surely with Tarkovsky, Branthwaite, Decore, Calvert-Lewin, Onana, surely you've got to defend set pieces better than that. Have we not got the desire? Well, Sean Dyche did say in the press conference, you've got to want it in your own box and you've got to want it in the other box. And maybe we just dipped out a little bit in our own box and didn't want to defend with everything we've got and put our bodies on the line to defend these set pieces.
For those people, you know, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4, possibly actually 5 Luton players. I'm not even counting the number 7 at the far post and the 12 on the edge of the box. We've got the 2 lads on the post, so put them to one side for a moment. We then got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8 players there. If you're going from what looks like Garner on the 6-yard line at the back post, going across Calvert-Lewin, Mikolenko, Tark's going up for the header, and a couple of other lads around there. There are more than enough players to deal with a corner like that. But someone said that Luton have made it into a scrum, and that's exactly what they did. And
yeah, Paul Caswell said that there's 2 on Branthwaite there.
Yeah, there was too many times that people weren't doing their own job. They were too busy looking at other people or waiting to be told to do something. And I think players have got to take responsibility here. Do you know what I mean? If things aren't working in training, then you change it and then you do it the right way, don't you? What's happened here? They know how they're going to be set up. They know how they're going to be set up, but they seem confused. They just seem confused.
Paul, is this what we've always been using? Because, and the Blues as well. Comment now. Have we changed our style on set pieces? Because there's a comment here saying they were the first direct free kicks we've conceded since Dyche just came in.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Just feel, is this how we've always defended on Paul, or have we done something different now that's made us weaker at defending set pieces? Have we changed the zonal marking, or is this how we've always marked? Has something changed here?
No, as far as I've seen and sort of looking back, this is what Deitch does. He does sort of zonal, but there will be people free to go man to man as well. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
run on you though, don't they?
You don't put all your eggs in one basket and just we'll be zonal, so the opposition can just go where they want. We've just switched off when Morris has gone towards the ball in line with that near post. So when it gets his header on there, he's in line with the near post. The header crashes against the bar, bobbles down. And the biggest thing for me in terms of conceding yesterday was just how slow we were to react to different things. Now, whether that be on an individual basis or defensively as a unit, I just thought we were slow. And maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on Ashley Young on the post there.
No, you're not, because I'm telling you something.
Slow.
No.
It seems slow to me to react. That's all.
I'm going to hit this now, and I'm not putting players down. I just want to, but first of all, I'm going to address that the Blues did answer to what I said. Thanks for giving the feedback on what I just said. He says Morris wins the header in Tarkowski's area. So what Dyche is doing is okay. It's just Tarkowski should beat Morris to the header. Tarkowski is in the right position to beat Morris to the header. That's what the Blues is saying. So
I agree. I think there's two individual errors in there, and I think Tarkowski is one of them, not reacting to Morris, and I think Young is the other when it comes and bobbles off him on the. He was waiting for it to come down. If anything, I'm surprised he waited for it to come down to the ground. Hit it while it's in the air. It could go anywhere, to be honest, as long as it doesn't go in the goal.
It's a good save by Pickford, by the way. I mean, if Young would have done, now I'll hit the Young part. If Young would have done, with all the experience that he's got, what he should have done, then it would have gone down as a cracking save by Pickford, putting it onto the joint work, because everyone's thought that has gone in, and it normally would go in, but Pickford pulls off one of those wonder saves onto the woodwork, doesn't he? And I feel Ashley Young, with all the experiences, me as a player, you've got to touch that away from goal. You don't touch it into danger. Your touch has to be out wide and clear. So you touch it all the time in the slow motion that Ashley Young's got. You don't touch it forward back into that 6-yard box. You touch it away. It doesn't come from that fast. He's got time to think what it does. It's like a Michael Keane sort of moment, this by Ashley Young. You've got to touch it away from goal and smash, have it out the box. Anything in our box, don't be relaxed. You clear it with everything you've got, and you just get rid of it. And I've watched it back loads, Paul, and I'm sorry, but Ashley Young's he's got to clear that for me. It's just so slow.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't even so much the first touch, because it came at him, so it's not that. But the ball's coming off his thigh there, and it's going to drop down. I would be sprinting towards it, just as fast as movement that you could possibly do, and clear it even before it touches the floor. But what he does, he lets it come down to bounce so he can hit it away after it's hit the floor. That's why, I mean, Lockley is right there. There's the other side of Branthwaite, other side of DCL, and he's straight in there. So credit to him, but I'm surprised Young even let it touch the floor, to be honest, before he tried to clear it.
He smashed it into him as well, Young did, didn't it? It was practically an own goal. It wasn't an own goal because it went in off him, but Young smashed it in off him. He doesn't even know nothing about it. It's an Everton goal, as always. They've done nothing for this. They've won a header. And do you know where we have to work so hard to get into areas that are hard to get into to score? I know our goal's scrappy that we'll talk about. It's kind of similar to this, but normally we have to work hard for a goal. We've just put this goal on the plate for him, haven't we, Paul, in my opinion?
Yeah, and look, Tarkowski's been immense. I wouldn't knock him. And Young's done lots of good stuff as well. So it's just, if you're picking out individual things, and this is what came down to in the end, there were two particular moments in their goals where you thought we just could have reacted a little bit faster. And unfortunately, then after this, it happens again. This is the second.
Let me just say one thing on that. That's the goal that they didn't even know was coming, and that's lifted them straight away. And the moment that they score that goal, our crowd's gone, what the fuck? Yeah. Sorry to say that. Our crowd's gone beat, basically. Our crowd's like, wow. Because we're all over them. They don't look like... They had one header by Lockyer that was a warning, but they can't pass the ball that much, and we're dominating possession, and we're in complete control of the game, and then they score, and it's like our fans straight away think, "Oh my God, we're losing to Luton. We're going to be the first team that Luton beats in the Premier League," and it feels like the players had that sort of reaction as well, where they was just shockingly scared that they've just done something massively wrong that they shouldn't have done. And
some of them, yeah, some of them,
yeah, and it doesn't surprise me with the way we played after that first goal, because we didn't react good after it. It doesn't
yeah,
surprise me with the way we reacted after that first goal, that they went and scored again, like you're showing now.
yeah.
This is
I
bad, though.
mean,
This is.
yeah. I mean, I know I wasn't in Lower Bullands, but I can tell you now, and there'll be people who were dead in line with it on in Gladys Street as well. They would have been shouting, "He's on his own. Look at number 9. You know, look at number 9. He's on his own. There's no one marking him."
Morris as well. Morris.
I know, of all people, of all people, there's a few clever things that Luton have done here. By the way, I mean it is, and as Blue says, it's really avoidable. There's a few good things Luton has done. The guy who Mikalenko is marking constantly gets goal side of Mikalenko, and they're having a bit of a tussle. It's a bit of arms. Morris doesn't do his run like he's doing now. You can see him on the run. He doesn't actually get into that forward line until literally this point where the ball's being crossed in. So it wouldn't surprise me whether Morris has stayed out of the situation. The defensive line think that they've got everyone. You know, we've also got 1 or 2 people spare in the centre. Morris then does his run. Mikalenko's being grappled with, and actually, the guy who Mikalenko stood next to holds on to him a little bit as the ball goes through for Morris. So well done, Luton. However, there's so many people who can see this happening. You know, Pickford can see it happening. Mikalenko's got to be aware of it. McNeil, who's in the middle, he's looking at 12. You know, maybe your other guy there who's next to the referee. But the thing that gets me is that if I'm in a defensive line and I'm not picking someone up, I'm going to look round to see if there's someone who needs picking up. That's just always been the case. If you're defending a free kick, get a man. And if you haven't got a man, have a look and see if there is a man to get. Because you've got Decore there and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and you've got 2 lads in between Tarkovsky and Branthwaite and Onana. So 2 between 3. There's plenty of people in that D, if you like, who haven't got an attacking player to mark. Now, straight away, personally, that would ring bells for me, that I've got to make sure that I can at least see someone who needs marking. But out of those 5, they don't seem to have that reaction. They don't seem to have that intuition to deal with this situation. And that's exactly what's happened.
Well, the thing is, there's 2 ways. Someone said to me, it's Sean Dyche's fault this is as well. He's set them up to do this. And I said, what? He's set them up to not pick up that player? I bet Sean Dyche, well, listen to Sean Dyche in the interview, and he's absolutely fuming with this goal. So I don't think he's set them up to do this at all. But I didn't want to get into the debate. But with McNeil, like you've just said, if I'm in McNeil's position now, which you could say is there to counter-attack when we clear the ball, he's the one that gets us up the pitch. That's why he's there. But the only way McNeil should be there is if he's took a look round all of his players and they're all marking someone and he's okay to be in that position. McNeil, for me, has got to have a look at all of those Everton players, and he finishes probably looking at Mikalenko and thinking, oh my God, you've got a player there. You need me. I'm running. I don't care about trying to be in that position for counter-attack. If I was McNeil, I'd go and I'd mark Morris. But like the Blues has just said, Mikalenko, he's got to be screaming at him. If I was that close and I had 2 players and I was on overload, I'd be like, McNeil, get here now. You've got to defend and fight for your lives, because if you concede now, you've got to bring 2 goals back and it's a mountain. So these are the moments that win you and lose your games and get you no points or get you a draw. And I just feel that is just so poor. And like you said, all the fans would have been shouting. It's kind of Everton get 2 wins and then we lose. Mikolenko has 2 good games, and then he has a little bad moment like this. It's always like steps forward, then steps backwards, isn't it? And I was really liking Mikolenko the 2 games, and I still feel a lot of parts of his performance are really good. But then they do these stupid things. Why can't they just consistently be good? Not 2 games, 3, 4, 5. If he's getting better, he's got to be switched on. They just switch off, and I'm just frustrated with this goal. I think you can't leave their striker coming back post like he did to be unmarked from a set piece. It's not quick, like you're tracking back and you can't react to it, and you've not got enough time. This is a dead ball situation that you've probably been waiting 2-3 minutes for him to take it. Like you've just said, you made a good point. The lad's got goal side of Mikolenko to block him off on making the interception on Morris. So it's obviously planned. They've planned it.
It is.
We should know about it.
And this is, I mean, this might be the left back union coming out in me, to be honest. But I wouldn't put it all on Mikolenko. That's collective. Mikolenko's dealing with their guy who's literally holding on to him, and he's holding on to him. His back's to Morris, who's making this late run. That's the thing. Morris wasn't there. It wasn't like he was stood and Mikolenko knew someone was there. Morris has run into this attack, into the ball coming in towards him at the last moment. So Mikolenko's at the moment not even aware. There's plenty of other players who should be a little bit better body position. Pickford could see it as well. It's just, as a collective, we've not dealt with that situation.
Can I just say that, right, the Blues have just they had 2 shots on target. This is just, it fumes me as well. And I'm sorry that we are going through the game and breaking it down, but I feel that when we do this, it gets it all off your chest. You have your little rant about it, you fume.
Yeah.
And then it puts it on show, because we can go back through the channel and say, this is still happening. If we're bringing the same pictures out in the next, 3-4 games after the game, and the same thing's happening, it gives us a good idea of where we're going wrong and that it's not getting addressed. And that's why we like to do this. I know it's frustrating, but we do get through it. And I like it. I don't like seeing this. It fumes me. It makes me want to rip my hair out. But I like talking about it. I like getting it off my chest. I like to see what the Blues has got to think, what all of you have got to think in the comments. Emma Davis and Paul Caswell and you, Paul. We get it off our chest on the channel.
Therapy.
And we move on from it. And we hopefully correct it, but we don't seem to be massively correcting things, do we?
It's therapy for us, so we can move on. And it just helps. Do you know what I mean? I think it helps. I know it can be.
I think he was. By the way, I think he was. I think Morris was quite good. Branthwaite is one of the best centre backs going for me at the minute, and he was a handful. He was a handful. Yeah. Morris was with Branthwaite. He was a real handful. He kept going up to the ref, and that's probably the hard. If you went and asked Branthwaite the hardest player that he's come up against, I'd say Morris after that game, because he was giving Branthwaite an absolute hell of a game. Knocked him on his back, smashed him up into him. And the commentators was going, this is a cracking battle between Morris and Branthwaite, which it was. But I feel if Morris wasn't so pestering on our centre-backs, we would have had a better game. He kind of really frustrated our centre-backs, which gave them the edge to go on and score, in my opinion. I think Morris set the tone for that team, and he was a good player. I don't like giving him shout-outs, but he felt like he was quite good.
Yeah, well, I mean, cracking finish. For not to touch or anything, our volley, Pickford no real chance, to be honest with you.
Blues agrees there as well. There you go. He agrees.
We did have a highlight. Ball comes in from free kick. That's why Tarks is down on the floor. One of their guys is on the floor. It's dropped down to Garner, I think. Who was obviously playing on that right-hand side of midfield. Lobs it in. And then Decore and your man there next to him. Decore manages to bobble the ball down after a scramble. And I thought Decore was going to put it himself, but it needed another touch. How long did this VAR decision take? Oh my God. It was ridiculous. Absolute ridiculous.
I could see straight away that he was onside. It wasn't like you couldn't see by a mile, but I generally could see with their shoulder that Calvert-Lewin was onside. But it took them so long, and they probably wouldn't have even looked at it if it was the other way around. But it took them so long to give us this goal, and I don't see how it could take so long. You put your lines in, you make your decision. It's that simple. You can't and
Yeah.
It's technology. If your lines are there, you look at the line. It's yes or no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's as simple as that. And we've had these against us all the time. We have like so many decisions and against us all the time. And then Liverpool get one, and then we hear about it, and they get an apology within 1 second. But I'm surprised this went for us, though, Paul. Was you thinking that it was going to disallow this? With how long it went on,
I thought they were trying to find every conceivable possibility to disallow it. But I mean, look at it. It's not obvious either way. I don't think 16's left foot, DCL's knee. How can you tell? You can't tell unless there's literally lines on the ground or computer generated lines on the ground all the time. And our cameras, we've got an old stadium. It's like when we had Decore. Was it Decore or was it the Arsenal game? And there was an offside. I think Gary Neville said, "Is that the best angle we've got?" Yeah, it is. It is, because VAR isn't perfect at all. And for me sins, I was with two of my best friends yesterday, who were Reds, unfortunately. But they watched our game with me, then I watched their game with them. And it was just ridiculous. It was honestly ridiculous. They couldn't believe it had taken 3 minutes for theirs. And if you saw anything of their offside decision that they didn't get, an apology that they've got since as well. I just, I think I sent a gift to one of them saying, "Welcome to the party, pal," because we've had that so many times over and over again where they just can't tell. They just can't tell with VAR at all. And he said, actually, he made a good point, me mate. He said, if they can't decide within 2 minutes maximum, then it should be given. Whatever it is, it should be given. Because the benefit, I thought the benefit was used to go to the strikers. That not in the even rules anymore. Do you know what I mean? So that's another sort of argument which just puts it right up there and annoys everyone. But I'm glad we did get it. But I then thought that this was going to be the catalyst for us to go forward and keep creating chances and come back and win the bloody game. But second half, nothing. And I mean literally nothing. We didn't have any shots on goal. They didn't have any shots on goal. Our expected goals was 0. 0.
Well, the way the game was going, there was also a chance where Garner cut in and had a chance, wasn't they? There was also a chance where Garner had a header and he should have scored the header. The way after scoring this goal, I 100% thought that we was going to make it 2-2 before half time. The momentum that we got from making it 2-1 before half time, it was only a matter of time before we scored. They couldn't handle us, and we was all over them. And I was thinking, I said like 2-2 before half time, and then we start fresh. And I really did think the amount of chances was attack. They couldn't get out with us. And I always say this about Everton all the time. We play where you don't want the whistle to come, but you're scared that we won't come out the same second half. And like you just said, with the way we come out second half was just... Is it that we was poor second half, which I do believe it was? I think it was a factor of everything. Is it that they come out and they slowed the game down, like Sean Dyche said, and they really did make the game as untidy as you think? This is a stupid thing, but I don't know whether you'll agree with this. I don't think the weather helped us. I don't think the weather helped us.
No, it probably didn't. It probably didn't.
No, I know it's what someone said, bloody hell, he's blaming the weather. But the first half, it wasn't raining that much. The second half, it chucked it down. And I thought the way we was fizzing the ball about first half, we could pass it and ping it and move it about faster. Second half, it was blasting it down. You could see Onana absolutely drenched, and I feel that benefited Luton because it was people falling over, changing football boots, long ball, and I think it suited them because it takes something away from the better football team. And I feel we was better than Luton on the ball, dominating and stuff. So
I don't think it helped that. I don't think it helped that lots of our players seem to be wearing slippers in the first half. I don't know who told them what studs to put on or anything, but we just seem to be slipping about the place. But it was no excuse. We should have taken the chances that we created in the first half, even before Luton got their first goal, and we didn't create enough after the one that we got to make it even viable, even worthy of us getting an equaliser. One thing I was going to point out as well is that second half, they did have a disallowed goal. Cross comes in there. The guy at the far post is obviously offside. Then he heads it back across, and I think it's Morris again who heads it in. But this wasn't like a Fulham or a Wolves defeat at home. Luton were far better than both of those in those games. And it wasn't just we created chances all the way through and should have scored them. Basically, what's happened again, and it's happened a lot, not just this season, but in last season as well, is where we've had the first chances and we've not scored them. And then the opposition have scored the fewer chances that they had. And then we come off thinking, oh, well, we played all right, but we didn't win. And this is a similar thing, but Luton we're far better than teams that we played before, and I think they executed their plan really well. So I'm really annoyed at us for being slow, reacting slow as a unit and individually. And fair play to Luton.
The Blues just said, I forgot about that one left foot by chance by Garnet. I feel sometimes you look when they've shot and they could play that extra pass. I watched Richarlison against the Red Shy, and the way he passed it to Son, Richarlison could have shot, but he passed it to Son in a better position, and Son's got a tap in. And I feel sometimes you can't rush to take your chance. I'd love to see that extra pass. And when you watch James Garner in his position, you look at Calvert-Lewin, and everyone thinks Garner's going to shoot, and he does. And sometimes you think, have that extra little bit of ability to just knock Calvert-Lewin in a better position and knock it in. We've seen it with Dan Juma with Beto against Sheffield United. Dan Juma has a shot, should have knocked it to Beto in a better position, score. Sometimes I feel we need to have that composure to just have the composure in the box to just take that extra pass to make sure it goes in the back of the net. Because yes, McNeil's shot, for example, he shoots straight away first time, would have been beautiful if it went in, but maybe he could have ran with it, forced a penalty, or had a better shot on. Onana hits it round the player. Was it the best chance to shoot? I don't know. Maybe a bit more cool. But I just think sometimes we're hitting it for Garner Gay, had a shot from miles out. We've seen it. Why is Garner Gay shooting from far? He's not going to put it in, so maybe he should have just holded on to it and put someone in a better. Yeah, I don't want Garner Gay shooting. I really don't. And just put someone in a better position. No. You've got to make sure you score. And one thing I will say about the second half, we've got to go on to some other stuff as well on this channel. It's a biggie tonight, isn't it? One thing I will say about second half is, and I tweeted it, I was happy with his subs. He brought Harrison on at half-time, which we all probably wanted Harrison on at half-time. You feel he might get us a goal. Harrison come on and wasn't effective. He brought Beto on. We all thought Calvert-Lewin was going to come off. He brought Beto and Calvert-Lewin on up top. We've all asked for two strikers. It didn't work whatsoever. Dyche doesn't know it's not going to work, but it didn't. So we kind of got what we wanted, but it just didn't kick. But I said, I don't know what you think, Paul, the way we was playing first half, if we would have just carried on like that second half and not been desperate and maybe left Garner Gay on, if we come out and had the same half as we did first half, it would have been all right, in my opinion. There we go.
Yeah.
Camera's gone off.
You could go back to the initial lineup, to be honest. I think when how excited was everyone to see Beto on DCL, but the problem was the way we were trying to create chances in the second half wasn't they weren't as great as some of the opportunities we had in the first half, if you like. They were very much in the air. I think when he's got Harrison on, we're trying to get crosses in from the left and the right. There were a couple of added opportunities. You know, DCL had a good chance to get one on target. Beto's header from about 7 yards out. There's an angle I haven't got here, but there's an angle which is looking at Beto, and you can see the goal behind him, and you're just looking at that massive corner, and then he's headed it over. There's just those goddamn opportunities, and we didn't get it again. So it is dead frustrating. But
it was also rushed as well, second half. That's what I feel. Everything was rushed second half. It's like, instead of taking, I know you rush when you know you've got to come back and you think you need 2 goals, because we don't want to get a draw. We want to come back and win. And I just feel everything. You've seen Calvert-Lewin arguing with Beto. You've seen players arguing with each other. You've seen balls going in earlier than what they should. Some lofted balls. You've seen balls that was pointless. You've seen balls across the box that wasn't coming in. Everything second half was just so rushed for me. Instead of like having that composure, Paul, where you think we're just going to carry on playing our game. We'll keep the ball. We won't rush it. We'll dominate. And we know we're going to get a goal by keeping the ball and playing our game. It was just quick, smash it up, long ball, try and get someone in, long ball, try and get it to Beto and Calvert-Lewin. When Beto and Calvert-Lewin played together, we just didn't give them good balls, did we? We didn't. I know Beto had 2 good chances. And by the way, Beto, he had 2 really good chances, which he should score, I completely admit. But for some of our fans, which I've said on Twitter, for some of our fans, to be calling him shit and to be calling him Niassi, oh my God. Like, you wonder why we can't get some attacking players that don't want to come to us, because you can't destroy a player like that. He's had, how many games has he played? Paul? Probably 1.5, 2, Beto?
Overall, yeah, probably is. Yeah, probably 2, isn't it? If you're thinking DCL came in midweek, Beto came on for 15 minutes, maybe. You know? Yeah, a couple of 60 minutes.
Players shit that quick.
No, but a lot, to be honest, fans in or many fans in general, not just ours, but you know, there's plenty of football fans who are like Finding Dory. They literally forget what they said 5 minutes ago. They're just reactionary, and it's annoying. It's annoying, but if you see it for what it is, and the fact that there's just people who will just react to what happens and not see a bigger picture, then you just let it go over your head. I hope the players do as well, because none of that helps. Everyone has an opinion, and yeah, we can analyze the game and dissect it, and we can say that person could have done better at that position and could have done this or that or the other, but we're still going to support them. You know what I mean? I don't get the typing out this, that, and the other, and slagging them off to high heaven, saying that they're this, that, and the other, when last week they were saying Beto was our king.
Beto was our king.
So,
and then calling him shit
in a week's time,
within 1.5 games.
Yeah. Well, when we get our 3 points next Saturday against Bournemouth, and we put it in a proper shift to score a couple of good goals, then they'll have forgot they've said that, and they'll say, might have disappeared there, I don't know. Is that me or you going off then?
My battery's going on the laptop. I was supposed to charge it, and I've been out all day with the family, because if Everton are crap, don't let it get to you. Go out, spend time with your family, cheer up. Don't let it affect you, because at the end of the day, one game doesn't define our season, and that's what we'll kind of go on to now, because I think you've chucked about everything on there, haven't you, Paul? Thanks for doing that as well. By the way, Paul did all that, and he does it better than me now, so I do try and get him to do it. Sometimes I did have a migraine before this one.
Sorry, everybody. There was too many pictures of us being rubbish then, wasn't there?
Well,
I should have put more
let's,
pictures on of us
as we
being
always
actually
do.
good. I would have.
Has it gone blurry now? You having a flutter? As we always do, I just want to address this before. There's two things that we'll do now. And we'll go, do you think in the comments, because this is all that seems to talk, it does me head in. I've just seen Joe Davis come on and say it doesn't do me head in to think anything bad of you. I love you. I love all Everton fans, but dish out. That's all it is, isn't it, Paul? Dish out, dish out. Like, we need to address this, don't we, on the channel?
Reactionary. I get how Joe. I get
It
how
ain't
Joe
though. A
might
lot
be
really
feeling
do want him out.
You know, he's not the
A
only
lot
one.
really want him out.
Yeah. But I think they're waiting for the first opportunity, aren't they? Do you know? And yeah, there's plenty of reasons why people would want him out, you know. But is that going to help right now? Right now, really? Don't know. I'm not against him though. I wish he had picked a better lineup to start the game yesterday.
Yeah, there is frustrating stuff. Oh, I don't miss Iwobi. I don't miss Iwobi. I really don't. I don't miss him all. I don't think it's the problem. This is the problem, though. What I like, put your comments. I like these comments anyway. Say what you're thinking, because it's what I'm seeing all over Twitter. It's what I'm seeing all over Twitter anyway. But generally, like, something bad happens. It's like you throw everything. It's like an argument with your missus. You have one argument about one thing, and then they bring everything out for the past 10 years. This is what happens with Everton. Like, literally, you did this 10 years ago. No, don't do that. Please, as Everton fans, don't do that. Like, don't bring everything out of the freaking cupboard just when we have a bad game. It's like some people are waiting. Like, Dyche has been okay the last 2 games. People don't know what to do with themselves. Dyche is like, yeah, I have to be angry now. Dyche out. Dyche out. And I generally believe, and I've said this numerous times, Dyche has set us up. He might not be the best manager of the world. There might be better tactical managers out there, but for what our players are capable of, is a manager going to come in and make Onana finish better than what he did that game? Is he going to come in and make McNeil finish that shot? No, it's down to the players sometimes. Dyche has set them up well enough to have loads of shots on target, Paul. Start of the game, like, what would your tactics be? Can you dominate for the first 25 minutes? We've got, what's the cat's name again? I forgot the cat's name.
This is Bell.
Got about 15 minutes on the channel.
Along with Blue. Blue's somewhere.
Still the show.
Blue's watching Luton highlights. Bell's just wobbling around. So have you disappeared on me, mate? Two minutes. He's coming back on in 2 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I get the thing about Dyche. You know, there's no glamour about Dyche at all. You know, there never has been. But I'd say now the same thing I said 6 months ago is that we're not in the top half. We're not challenging for Europe. We're literally fighting relegation. And the managers who are available, the managers who are better at avoiding relegation, Dyche is probably the one that we need. We're still in that situation. Nothing's changed. And yes, it's mediocre. You know, there's plenty of matches that we should be doing better in, and we come out with a defeat instead of actually turning around to a win. But at the moment, we have minimal options. And as a fan base, we can get behind people, you know. And I absolutely get the frustrations, because I'm one of them, and I was very frustrated with the lineup yesterday. I just thought we could have been far more positive. We didn't do that. I don't even mean playing 2 up top. You know, I've got my own sort of thoughts on the formation. I just think it wasn't very inspiring. It wasn't very positive. But from what we're trying to do, from where we are, I think it's a case of I would look at the next game and see what the lineup is then, and see how positive we're going to be. Because as someone said early doors, the Bournemouth game is massive, absolutely massive. Because after the Bournemouth game, we've got the derby, and we've got a string of fixtures which they're hard, they're tricky. Definitely a few trickier ways, playing some bigger teams at home. So this Bournemouth game again is huge, absolutely massive.
This camera quality is crap, so I'm going to do full Monty now.
Oh no!
I believe in miracles. I put the Everton top on. I didn't put the Everton top on today because I was peed off with them. Tiger. I didn't put the Everton top on because I was peed off. And this camera quality is crap, so the vest just looks super tacky. And my battery's going and everything. But there we go. I'll put the Everton top on.
Hey, that's good.
Well, it's just my camera. I've had to put the crap camera on now because the battery was going. It's been doing me over, but I have been out today and I haven't let Everton defeat me. But here we are. Get the top on. Fuck it. We're back anyway, and we're gonna end this stream positive because we always do. That's what we do on this stream. We boost you back up. That's what we do. And I haven't done spaces because I know a lot of people will hate me at the minute because they want to be angry for 1, 2, 3 days. So people ain't going to want to hear my voice try and be positive. So I'm just leaving them be for a bit. But they'll need me because at the end of the day, one game doesn't define our season, Paul. It doesn't.
No.
And people just want to dwell on, we've lost against Luton. You know what? I don't care who we've lost against Luton. If we go and lose against Luton and beat the Red Shite randomly that we shouldn't do, it gets that Luton game back for me. It gets the Luton game back. It does, doesn't it? You can get that game back. It doesn't matter who you lose against. It's just about you've got to now. You've lost 3 points against a team that you should not have lost 3 points. I get it. Luton are shit. We should never have done that. But at the end of the day, you just get those 3 points back. You've just got to step it up against a team that you wouldn't normally pick 3 points. Now, I'll put it to you like this. You can do, as I said, you can go and pull all the stuff out of the cupboard and bring out everything we've done bad this season, which I know. Or you can let Dyche have his little patch of where he's got us a little bit better and go from that patch. Now, in the last 3 games, I know one's a cup, but in the last 3 games, Dyche has won 2. If we go and beat Bournemouth, in the last 4 games, Dyche has won 3. So he's won 3 games out of 4. He's won 3 games out of his last 4. Is that us getting better? Yes. Do I believe we can beat Bournemouth? Yes. Should we just be super negative and dwell and just moan because we lost against Luton? Or should we just put it behind us, build a bridge, get over it, and beat Bournemouth? Because we watched Bournemouth when we stayed up. We can beat Bournemouth. We can. We can pull out every stat this season and make us negative and just make us fall down the ladder further and further and further and actually have a chance of going down this season. Or we can get over it, go into this Bournemouth game, win it, go into the derby with confidence and just crack on. I honestly believe that we aren't playing that bad. We've just got to be more clinical. I really do believe it. If Onana or Garner or Mikalenko take those chances that they should, because like the Blues just said, they had 2 chances they scored. If we've had 3 at the start of the game, we should be scoring 1 of the 3, for me, in my opinion. We score first. They don't get the wind in the sails they had from that first game. Maybe we just go on to win that game easy. It's the Everton thing, but some of our players, Paul, they're going through the motions. They're not just going to, we start winning all the time. We'd love it. I want it. I want us to win the last 2, win this 3, win 4, 5, 6, and smash it. There's going to be ups and downs. There is going to be ups and downs. And it hurts. Yeah, it's frustrating. But as long as, like Calvert-Lewin's just gone and tweeted, yes, it was bad. It was losing this game, but we'll make sure we put it right the next game. As long as that loss there makes them more determined for the next and we don't crumble and go down the ladder and we stay and hold on to that ladder and keep climbing it back up, with that sort of attitude, and it doesn't knock us down. Because, like I say, we win the next game, we've won 3 and 4. We go into the derby winning 3 and 4. That's our form in the last 4 games. If you want to talk about all the rest, fair enough. But I'm not going to, because I know we need to take every positive we can to stay mentally strong to have a good season. Because, yes, we were shy at that Luton game. We should never lose against a team like that, and our home form is awful. But this season doesn't go away, and we need to do what we can to move forward, to keep us positive as fans, and to keep those players positive as well.
Yeah, we're getting better away, aren't we?
Yeah, we are getting. I think. I don't know what it is. I think they feel the pressure at home, but I do feel when they're away, they go away, and they're more free. They do what they want. They're not expected to win, and other teams come at us more. When Everton are expected to win, it's always been the case, hasn't it, Paul? You'll know this, and everyone in the comments. When Everton are expected to win, when we've got to take a game to someone, we've got to go and win the game, we struggle with that. We do struggle with it. We've never had that boom, we smash you 4-5-0. We've never had that everywhere. We can just put games to bed.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
We haven't got that. But when we're away, and people were like, we're away against Brentford, oh, we lost this. We sit back, we end up winning it. When we're away against Villa, we've lost this. We sit back, or we press on that, and we end up winning it. My big thing is, we beat Brentford, people didn't think we would. We beat Villa, people didn't think we would. I've now got confidence knowing that we could beat Brentford and Villa. So I'm not going to dwell on that Luton game, because I know Brentford and Villa are better than them, and we beat them. So all we need to do now, Paul, is get back to that Brentford performance and Villa performance and start picking up wins again. But if you dwell on things, you can end up getting worse and losing against Bournemouth, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And going further down, and then you're in real shit.
Yeah, I'm just going to pick out. What sort of,
that was my rant. That was a big rant, wasn't it? Was that a big rant?
Oh, that was good. That though, it's good. That's what it's for. This is therapy, isn't it? You know, that's how you can move on and get past it. So he's sort of saying, will he say the same if Bournemouth beat us? Well, they haven't beat us yet. You know, so like Dan says many times, it's no good. It's no good having to get yourself down and deal with things that actually haven't happened. Do you know what I mean? Deal with the things that have happened, then move on and pick out positives, so then you can actually keep going. And it's not that we are not pretending that we're playing well. All right. We are playing awful. Apart from we played very well against Brentford and we played really well against Aston Villa. And there's signs that we can play well again. You know? At the moment, we've got these chances that we're creating, but we're not scoring the goals. And I know the points are not good enough. I get that. And we could spend all day saying, this is the fault of this person, or this is the manager's fault, the club's this, the club's that, and everything else. And we get it. And if you want that, and you enjoy that, then go on every Twitter space after a defeat, because that's what you get. Okay. There's plenty of people who are very angry about Everton all the time. And sometimes Twitter spaces are the ones to go for on that. We are not avoiding anything on here by saying, we're not missing out that we've lost, too many games. We've conceded daft goals. We've not actually scored these really good chances that we're creating. With no chance are we not accepting and acknowledging that. However, we will try and keep you positive on this channel, and we will pick out the bits that we can actually go forward with. And Dan's really good at that. And I hope I am as well. And actually, there's quite a lot of people on here as well that when we do get you positive and everything else, and this is just the day after, feel it again in another 2-3 days. Come back to us on pre-match against Bournemouth, and we'll get you flying, because we'll actually do it. We'll do well. We did it last season. No one said that we were going to stay up. We were this, we were that. We're going down. Bang, 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 bang. We never gave up, and everyone stuck with us, and we did it. Might have been on the last day, but we did it. And we'll carry on doing it as long as we can. That's my rant.
That's what we try. That's your rant. I love it. That was quite positive. That's what we try and do on the Blue Casting. I've seen Trevor Long there, and I know you're fuming, mate, and I'm fuming as well. Trust me, if you speak to me and Paul after the game, we don't even speak to each other. We're angry. We're not deluded and think everything's okay. Yeah. And we know our football quite well to know that It's just not good enough. You've got to be beating Luton, and you should be. If you're getting this many chances, you should be winning these games, and you should be scoring. I fume. I'm really angry, honestly, because I've got all this passion to win, and they let me down like they do, and it hurts inside. But I know for a fact, if you get all negative about it, it's just not going to help. Like, it's not going to help our mental health, and it's not going to help the players. Everton becoming completely toxic. So somehow, like we did last season when someone said to us, Everton are down on the channel or on Spaces. What are you doing a space for? Everton are down. Everton are down. No, they're not down. They're going to stay up. No, they're down. If we would have listened to people then and been negative with them, probably wouldn't have stayed up. But we didn't. We was positive. So sometimes we know things are shit, trust me. But we just stay positive. It's the best way, trust me. And you've got to. Otherwise, it's just not good for you in general.
And it's not moving, is it? Everton's still staying with us. And we're staying with Everton.
Still got a season ahead of us. Still got a season ahead of us.
We're not going anywhere.
And I'll tell you something. Yeah, well, it's going to be bad at the minute. We haven't got the strong... Our left back isn't the best left back in the world, Mikalenko. He can get away with it. Right back, we're struggling. Patterson's in and out. Young's he's getting on. You can't have no weaknesses in the Premier League. It's the hardest league. Our centre midfielders gaze up and down. Onana, he's only just had 2 good games. He's very inconsistent. We know this. But at the end of the day, you need these players to be the best they can be. You do need them to be the best they can be. I don't think a manager coming in now is going to change us that much. I really don't. I think Sean Dyche is doing as good as he can do with these. He's getting them in all the right attacking positions. If these players look like they was incredible at passing and they had massive, more potential, then I'd say get a new manager in that's going to make us pass like frigging Pep. But with how I'm seeing some of these players like Sean Dyche with not being clinical and performances and stuff like that, I can't put it all on Sean Dyche. I do think he's a part to play. Like you said, Paul, I did want the same formation as you, but I don't know. But we've got to stay positive. We're coming to the end now. It's been an hour and 12. We wanted to keep it short, but it's hard. Before we finish, put how you're feeling tonight. And then when we beat Bournemouth, we want to see the difference. We'll write that now. What's your last words? What's your last words for this channel? Can you write that?
What do you want me to, what was that? Do you want to pick out one of those?
Last words, how you're feeling. This is just therapy, though, isn't it? Lucky you've got us. We're stressed as well. We've never known Everton so bad at home and stuff. Trust me, we do get stressed. Well, I'm trying to, but you know how my typing is. You're normally the wizard on this nowadays.
I know what you're like. Yeah.
How's that?
There you go. Yeah.
Last words, how you feeling? So we'll read it out in the comments.
As a teacher, it's not very grammatically correct, and there's no punctuation, but apart from that, it's all right.
I know, I did that. Oh, you cheeky. Yeah, cheeky Chaplin. I'm going to get some music on the channel, cheer everyone up. I don't like negativity, I don't. I'm sorry, I understand why I'm feeling negative, but I have to be positive. This is why you should have done it, Paul.
Well,
drop it in the comments now. Last words, how?
I'm just going to put that.
Yeah, shut up, man. I'm trying to get the E on the end in the comment. Oh, this is why I don't do stuff on the channel live, these live games and stuff. I'm not the wizard yet. I will be one day. I'm always learning on this channel.
That's the teacher in me, to be fair.
I know. You always correct me, don't worry.
I tell you what, if you look back through any of my WhatsApp messages to you, they are all grammatically correct.
I always ask my girlfriend whether things are spelt right, just because I know you're going to correct me when I WhatsApp message you about the channel and stuff. Is that the right there, or is that the right you're? Oh, I've got that right now on the last words. And I'll look at your comments now. I've done the little thing just to frustrate you.
That's not an apostrophe.
No, that's just pointing up to me because I'm sexy. Well, not with this haircut, you know what I mean? In bloody haircut.
Sexy shirt, though.
Cut tomorrow.
Sexy shirt.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah. Fellini.
Oh God.
You know the Fellini celebration where he scores and he goes.
Yeah.
Fellaini.
Just after he's knocked Ryan Shawcross into the stand, I think.
Get the afro. Yeah, headbutt against Stoke. That was one. I remember that. This is why I say, like, I do remember that. This is, and you just said when he knocked. We're finishing now. This is where I say when he was Everton fans. I want to point this out now, right? This is no paranoia. I just love doing the channel. Being an Everton fan is that we've got Evertonians out there all over everywhere, and we all share the same journey. Like he's just said about Shaw, Stoke, Fellaini. I remember it. It takes me back. You could sit with an Everton fan and you could say about, 38 games a season, supported Everton for 15, 20 years. You could literally tell so many stories. We've shared this Everton journey for so long. Being an Everton fan is more about, not just about where you're from. It's about just being an Everton fan, embracing it, sharing the journey. And like, you just nailed that then. The amount of stories that we're all on the same roller coaster. We are all on the same roller coaster and we're all in it together. And that's why we do Toffee Bluecast, is to bring us all together and share these stories and share these emotions right now. But we will be okay. Last words, Paul?
No, have a good week. Calm down for a day or two. Get your energy back. We go again next week.
Relax. Play this song before I finish with the other song. I think there's one song that you stressed it goes. And then I'll play the actual song with the flares to cheer everyone up because we're amazing. Thanks for saying you love us. Like and subscribe. The drums all the top.
I like that.
Yeah, like another song. We're just cheering you up because you've got to be happy. Here we go. This is a good one.
Word.
Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can't and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Your lies, I'll do what I want.
Oh, I love it.
Right.
We'll stick together. We'll get through everything. We're Everton fans. Things will get better. I'll drop the proper song on with the fans now. Up the fucking Toffees. We're Rockies, mate. We don't just stay down. We get back up, even when we shouldn't. With the eye of the tiger, Karate Kid, Van Damme, the lot. Up the fucking Toffees, everyone. We'll be back. We'll beat Bournemouth and we'll go into that derby. And I tell you something, I'll be freaking ready for that derby. I tell you, I'll have the boxing gloves on. Drop the song now. Up the fucking Toffees. Love you all. Thanks for coming on the channel. Like and subscribe. Here we go. Here we go. Not too smooth.
Really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes.